Hello, and welcome to this Christian Walk, the show where no topic is too taboo to empower you on your walk with God. I'm your host, Marley B., and today the conversation is all about fear. Fear is something that can paralyze us and keep us from what God has for us. So I called on one of my favorite cousins and one of my great friends in Christ, who has an amazing relationship with God, and she is a business owner, entrepreneur, a mom, a motivational speaker, and a mogul in the making. So we're going to talk to my cousin Dani B about how she views fear, and hopefully it'll empower me and you in this walk with God. So let's get into it. All right. I want to introduce my next guest, my very beloved cousin, Dani B. She the best.
What
All
up,
right,
though?
Dani B. She's the
What's
best.
going on? What
Yeah.
up, though?
Welcome to TCW, cuzzo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, how I'm excited.
I'm so
Wow.
excited to have you, right? When I think about this Christian walk, this show was just pretty much me stepping out, sharing my personal walk with God in real time. And I just ask people to do the same. From episode one, you have supported me. Before this show even came into fruition, what a lot of people probably don't know is that you have encouraged me, you have inspired me with your own walk with God, which is one that is definitely individual and personal between you and God, one that you live out in everyday life with intention. And I just think that has helped to raise you to be this incredible person that you are. You've always been interesting. You've always been an individual. You've always been a leader, but your faith just propelled you in a way that is just unparalleled to anything of the latter, right? So I wanted to it is just my privilege to have you on here talking about your life and about your walk. And I know that people are going to be encouraged about it, right? Now,
Wow.
as we talk about this Christian walk, we can't talk about being a Christian or walking as a Christian without addressing the subject of fear. This is a subject that you and I had previously discussed, and we face fears in this walk currently, right? So I just want to get you to chime in on, some fears that you may have faced or are facing right now in real time, and how your faith and your walk has helped prepare you for that.
Wow. Okay. Well, fear, honestly, to me, is a distraction. I believe that what God having a greater plan for us. I think that having fear is something that the enemy used to distract us from God's plan for us. And so for me, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I watch a lot of motivation and inspirational people, and it's something that they all talk about. Nerves, I would say nerves and fear are two different type of things. Nerves, everybody has nerves before going on stage, before doing things like this. I would say I'm not afraid, but I nervous. We all get nerves, but it's a difference between being nervous and being fearful. So having fear prevents us from even doing what we are meant to do. Being nervous is something I would look at it as like an excitement, because I'm always nervous, even before like going on camera, because I'm afraid, not even afraid, but like, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Okay. Yes. And so I always,
I think that's a family trait. That's a family trait.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm always overexcited, so you don't know how people are going to take that. So I think it's a nerves for me. But what I always do, I ask God to walk and talk with me. So in my new journey, is like what I'm doing now. Before I came on here, I asked God to walk and talk with me. Whatever you want from me, allow. I want it to be done. He's gonna speak for me, So, I am always nervous. I am never afraid. Okay. I believe that fear means forget everything and run. It's that feeling that you get when you just forget everything and almost retreat. Okay. So it's not hard. It's not easy we all get that feeling, but fighting it is what we have to practice. And I think how I learned how to fight my fear was through fasting. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in this time, so I'm a barber, and I've done a lot of hair shows, right? And like being on stage and doing what I love to do. I've always been nervous, but it's something that always take control of me once I get into it, right? Mm-hmm. So we just have to go to it, and God will guide us through it.
Right.
So I
fear is there to keep you from trying to step out to it. Like if you know, if he can get you to stop in your tracks without even trying, that's when
it's like this,
wins.
Right? It's like double dutch. Double dutch. It's like, okay, we're not scared because we do this all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's that nerves. When do I jump in? Because I know once I get in, I'm in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's before me, it's going on stage. It's like that. It's like that anxiety buildup, you know.
I get it.
And they have practices and exercises that you can do, that you can look up, whatever works for you. Mine personally is I turn on music and I sing really loud, you know. Mm-hmm. So like I get it out, you know, like right. My worship, you know. So whatever it is, some people do push-ups, some people do a workout, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's that buildup of anxiety, and that is excitement. Don't confuse it with fear. Fear and nerves are two different things. And so you're always going to be nervous. So mm-hmm. Don't trick yourself out of thinking that I'm afraid, I can't do this. So before I go on the stage, you know, I'm always nervous. And once I get out there, I am out there. I don't think about what I'm doing, you know, but before I can't, you know, before getting up there, it's like not even imagining. Not even imagining. So when you have a relationship with God, he's able to take control. Mm-hmm. I don't see how, I don't know. That's how it happens for me. My relationship with God, he's able to control me. I trust him. Yes. So I allow him to guide me in my walk. So
and that's the trust factor is what I feel like people miss. That's what we have problems with, because we have those control issues and we want to put more trust in ourselves than in God, because you hear so much about you can do it, you got to go do it, you got to hustle, you got to do, but it takes a certain it takes a certain level of relationship with God to understand and let go that you're not doing it. You're out there and you're going forward, but God is doing it. He's making a way. He's directing you. He's the lamp at your feet. You know, that's the thing that it takes, building in that relationship and building that trust with God. And and I love how you had the acronym for fear. And I've heard a few of them, right? Like I've heard like false evidence appearing real, you know, mm-hmm. things like that, whatever we can do to just kind of, you know, diminish fear and all of that. But what I have to say that works for me, right, is understanding that fear is there, is real, right? But I feel that it's how you view it, right? I feel that what I had to do was learn how to use that fear for my benefit, right? Mm-hmm. Understand it's there, but it's not there to stop me unless I allow it to, right. You know, it's there to say, okay, this can happen, that can happen, whatever. But at the end of the day, God is in control, right? The fear, you can't allow it to paralyze you. I had to get a personal relationship with fear. You know what I'm saying? And understand that it's there, but it doesn't have control of me. You know what I'm saying? It does not. So I had to understand that, you know, because it's such a misconception that people that do brave things are not afraid. But you know, you hear the people like Beyonce, you know, she gets Sasha Fierce on the stage. She don't even call herself Beyonce when she on the stage. She's Sasha Fierce, because that's what she got to do in order to help to combat her fear. And it's like you were saying, you have to find out what works for you, whether it's exercise, whether you just speaking to fear, like, you know what, you're not going to stop me. I know you're there. I see you. I feel you.
Yeah, but fighting your flesh.
Exact. Fighting the flesh.
Yeah, fighting your flesh. Discipline. And that's what fasting helped me fight my flesh. So like when people think about fasting, they think about, I'm not eating, you're starving yourself. But it's discipline. It's like fighting your flesh, less of you and more of him. Mm-hmm. When it's like, okay, so it's easy for me now. Like, okay, so when you learn your weaknesses and learn like, okay, fasting, not doing things that I wanted to do helped me when I couldn't do something, it helped it makes it easier. It makes it easier not doing things. And so like now it's a form of discipline. The things that I need not to do.
How long have you been fasting? Like
okay, I started. It's funny. Let's go back to when you said you said something about it being about us. It not, like it being about God. And so my name is Dani Best, the best, right? So it was before I really got a relationship with God, it was what I thought I was doing for me. Like I know God gave me a gift, right? Cutting hair, but like when I was doing these hair shows, I was full of myself, right? Arrogance, like it's a difference between being confident and being arrogant. I was not confident, I was more arrogant, and God had to humble me, right? He had to strip me of everything. I lost my first business. I'm in my new barbershop, but it took me in 2019. I lost everything, my house, my business, as a result of my mistakes and not knowing where my blessings were coming from. So God had to strip me of everything. And in 2020 was my whole walk, that I began my walk with Christ, with him restoring me. And so I watched a lot, and I learned how to fast. I learned how to talk to God. I learned how to start to fight my flesh, because before it was just my flesh and less spirit. So that's when I learned how to fast last year, with going through all of the things that I was going through after losing all of the things that I had. And I had to ask for God to restore me. It wasn't me that restored me. It was God. So that's how I learned how to fast. And I had to take myself out of it. And people are now like, oh, congratulations, you did that. I didn't do any of it. It was God's work. And so when you realize, you got a lot of people that think, that don't mistake what you did for what he did. Don't mistake that. So I didn't do any of this. And before, I lost everything that I did. You have no control over what you do. God has full control over it. And so that's how I learned how to fast, when I lost everything. It's change comes through pain. And so when we're comfortable, there's no change that could be made. It's like childbirth. It gets painful when you're birthing something. So it got really painful, and God was birthing a new version of me. So that's when I learned how to fast. Yeah.
The fact that you was able to recognize it in the situation, sometimes we don't realize until after. And I think God wants us to learn how to just look around and count our blessings, even in the storm, because that's when real transformation starts. Like when you in the storm, and when you in the process of being changed and made, and made new, and getting closer to God, it's scary, but it's also very, very beautiful. And it's so many blessings that come around if you look for them. And I think that's just like the attitude, the mindset. The mindset has to be the thing that changed first. Like you said, with fasting, that's something that I'm actually fasting this week. But when this episode air, it'll be after Easter, but now it's the week of Easter. So I'm fasting this week. I was fasting last week. And so but when I first started fasting, it was like, okay, what am I going to eat? I know I was all about what I can't eat. I can't eat this. I can't eat that. I was missing the point. You miss the point. You're focusing on what you can't do. But the point of fasting is focusing on all the things, all the potential that is out there. And when you get in line with God, and when you get in a relationship with God, you understand that it's limitless.
Yeah. God said, don't worry about food and clothes. And so when I stopped worrying about, I eat really good. I still, to this day, fasting birthed some new eating and better eating habits for me. I got a lot more energy. I don't eat meat. I eat fish. But I stopped eating meat as a result to fasting for 7 days and not eating meat. When I came off my fast, I felt so much better. Yeah. And I didn't want to go back to feeling like tired, anxiety, and things like that. So fasting, we don't realize how God is trying to change us, right? Yes. And trying to create new habits for us. And so I used to, after my fast, which is like the next day or even the same day, boom, I'm going right back. Yeah. Now I feel so good. It's like, I'm creating new lifestyles for myself. And so it's about permanent change and not just like temporary change. He is trying to renew us, change us.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, God is about self-development. He
Yeah.
is like the best. He is the ultimate life coach.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
but it take listen to what he says, and I get that. I definitely get that, because like the first time I fast versus the times that I do it now, it is a different attitude. Every time is a little bit different, and we think about God in a way to where he's always wanting to take from us. He want to take away from us, and I just think people need to get that out of your mind. God isn't about taking away and restricting. He's about letting you know there's so much more than what you think you need.
It's like this. People pray for certain things. God, give me discipline, or God, give me patience, but then can't deal with the lessons that will give you the patience, right? You know, like the things that'll actually change you. So I just ask God now to have your way. Whatever, search my heart. Whatever is, and check my intentions. Whatever is there that's not of you, please remove it. And so I don't desire certain things that I used to desire, but we have to deal with not fearing change. And some people, honestly, I don't think it's a person in particular afraid of the change. I think it's more so what they feel like the people around them are going to feel like. I think because, yep, perception. Oh, most definitely. Or, being one way and then afraid of how people are going to think, oh, maybe she's fake. Yeah. Or afraid of that people, like, I believe now, regardless of what anybody feel like, because God has truly like made a 360, like totally transformed me. And so I just continue to be that new person that he's allowing me to be, regardless of what people think, because I want to show other people that it's okay to change. It's all right to change environments, change new habits, change, just change is good. So you cannot be afraid of that. That's the main thing. You have, in order to get too new, you have to change. So
and you can't, and that's not, and you just got to figure out who you're trying to please, who you want to please. Do you want to please God, or do you want to please your family and friends? Because that's, or even if you just want to please your own desires, your own flesh.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was waiting on. You just want to please yourself. Yep. Yeah. Because you cannot care about other people's opinion and only care about what you feel like, and disregarding God. Yeah.
Because I mean, he going. I mean, it's sooner or later.
On the nose. You want to know?
Yeah.
You on the road today, girl? Yes.
And, I'm trying to get this walk together, and because a lot of times when I stepped out, just talking about fear, it was scary doing what I'm doing now. I just walked away from a perfectly good job, and I barely seen it coming, let alone the people in my life, the people that I was working with. And it was just like, wait, well, what are you doing? It's a pandemic. And then I'm on the fast track. I don't work hard to build where I am at my job, and I was on the track to go up. And it was just like, okay, so what are you doing now? You leaving your corporate job with benefits and security to do something for free? And I was like, well, I'm doing what God want me to do, and it's just like, it's scary. And then I get people all the time that's just like, okay, well, at least you're doing it. Well, go ahead and do it, and then just go be funny. Well, this isn't always funny. This is, I'm doing what God want me to do. Now, I'm not just here to entertain you because I felt like entertaining people. I'm here trying to help people. I'm trying to pump some positivity in the world and some hope in a time when we need it like never before. And so that's not always funny. And it's not about just being able to hold your attention that way. This is me trying to be a blessing to people and trying to be a conduit for God. So I'm like, but a lot of people just are not getting that. And so
I think the best part for you, the best thing, and I think that God allows you to do this for him because, people think you're going to be funny because you are hilarious, right? but it's the fact that you're inviting, like you have that spirit. And so this was perfect for you. And I think that I know that God is going to bless this Christian Walk podcast, not just on screen, but just like off screen too. I think that you are going to be fulfilled. And some people just only think about money, what they could get, that's the first thing that they think about. And it's not everything, money can't buy you happiness. We hear about that all, So I had to learn that in that whole year that I lost everything, how to find happiness outside of monetary, outside of money, outside of finances. And so that was hard. That was hard trying to find a desire and when I didn't have, but that's when I learned how to be grateful for the things that I did have, you know, and it
Gratefulness
is
is very important.
gratitude.
Yes.
Gratitude. So just being grateful that God gave you a voice and he gave you a face to match it. He gave you this personality that is just amazing. And, you know, you are able to reach people. And so I am so excited for you. I'm very grateful to be here today. And I just know that God is going to bless this platform in particular.
Well, I thank you. That means the world to me. And as you continue to get raised through all your encouragement, because what I think people fail to realize when you're having those bouts of fear and you second guessing yourself, the remedy to that is to lift somebody else up. You know what I'm saying? When you get too much in your own head about your own life, the best thing you could do is be a blessing to somebody else. And I feel like the more you struggle, the more you went through what you went through, the more you reached out to all of us. And you dropping those nuggets and planting those seeds, you know, you just didn't know all the people that you were touching. And, you know, I feel like planting seeds of hope and love, that's the best thing that we can do when we're feeling fearful, or when we're feeling insecure or feeling lost, or you just feel that you don't know what to do next.
Yeah. It's called it's your testimony.
Yes.
It's your testimony. All of everything that I did, because losing everything was a result of my own mistakes. So I try to share that with people, like, you know, everything that I went through, everything that I've been through, I don't regret it, because I'm able to help someone else. I'm able to, humility. I was pretty much humiliated. I lost everything, you know, and my clients knew, everybody knew. And I think restoring me in front of the same people that watch me lose everything was, I'm able to show them how God can truly restore his people. If you believe, if you continue to work hard, continue to have faith, continue to pray. And that's why God restored me, because I accepted the fact that I made mistakes, and I shared that with others so that they were able to accept the mistakes that you made, do better for it, and know who is blessing you, know where your blessings is coming from. It's not coming from you, it's coming from the Most High. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Some people aren't humble, and one day everybody has to get humble.
You have to get humble.
Everybody has to get humble.
And it's better to humble yourself, because if God has to humble you, honey,
that's what happened to me. God had to humble me. So I learned the hard way, and people, and I'm so serious. I get people sit in my chair and they, you know, and it's a positive thing that I can relate to younger people, like the younger crowd, you know, they look up to me, and so I'm able to share my mistakes, and they, you know, there's no shame in my pain. The things that I went through, the things that I did, I will tell you, like, you sure you want to do that? Because I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. You know what happened in my last shot? That's what happened. So if you want to lose everything like I did, go ahead and do that. You know, so I'm very grateful that God has humbled me, stripped me, humiliated me in the face of everyone, so that they were able to truly see how God can restore you.
Yeah. And I think once you let go of what other people think, that's a game changer. It's God is about self-development, and confidence is something that we all need to develop at one. You know, that's got to be the first thing to come, I think, behind humility. You know, you still got to have that confidence, and knowing that, you know, I'm and the confidence comes from God. It's not in me. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying I'm confident in me. It's saying I'm humble and I'm confident in you, God. Right. I'm trusting in you, God. And that's the thing that we have to get to. Yeah. And then when you think about something else fear has taught you, what, you know, something that you didn't expect. What did fear teach you that you didn't expect? You know,
how strong I was, or how strong I could be. You know, like, you know, it's like winning a fight, or, you know, like, you know, I don't want to say fight, but because I haven't been in a lot of fights, but it's like overcoming something, you know, you could truly see how strong you are. And then for me, I have children. So being able to set an example, you know, being able to get through things, and being able to help someone else, that is the biggest thing for me. Because I think that fear has taught me how strong I really was.
And I love how you mentioned the relationship, the importance of that your kids can see your relationship with God, right? I had a teacher on a few weeks back who was talking, and her whole thing is she teaches her preschoolers, her first graders, you know, and the importance of having a relationship with God, right? But I think it's so important that, you know, it's one thing to go in and have somebody, a teacher tell you that, but it's another thing to be in a home where you see that being lived out by your parents. You know, you see that relationship with God playing out and being something that is a positive and a driver and a sustainer. You know, to be able to see that is one thing. You know, I grew up, you know how my daddy was. He kept me in church, but he was in that mug sleep. You know what I'm saying? When it came to like, I never remember seeing him at a Bible study or anything like that. But he was like, okay. And then I was like, well, Dad, how come I gotta go? You don't have to go. And he'd be like, well, I already did all of that. But you know, he think that his journey was over when it came to that. You know, it was for young people. But when you are able to, the advantage of being able to be in a household with somebody who knows that journey is never over. That learning, that lesson is never over. God is always growing you. He's always building you. He's always, you need him every single day. You can't just pray up everything you need for the week or for the month or for the year. You have to do that. This is a daily thing. That's why I call it daily bread. And to be able to see how your kids see that is a beautiful thing. Have you seen that? You know, what do your kids say about your faith?
I must tell you something. I couldn't wait to talk about this. So Ella, the 3-year-old, she is now starting to pray. I'll tell you about that. But Viviana, the 8-year-old, this is what touched me. And actually, it was just last week. She called me on the phone. She was at grandma's house. I was here. And she was like, Dama, she wanted to show me screen. She wanted to basically share her screen with me, what was on her phone. She was like, I found something on my phone. So she shared her screen with me, and it was the Bible app. And she was like, she said, you see it? I said, what is it? Because I didn't notice it. And she was like, the Bible app. I was like, wow, really, Viviana, what made you download the Bible app? She was like, well, because mommy read the Bible and you read the Bible. So I just figured I can maybe read the Bible too. And this was just last week. And so I'm like, wow, Viviana, that's really interesting. You know, like, I'm really happy that, you know, you downloaded the Bible. And so yesterday, Sunday, I was sitting there and I'm listening to the word. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm listening to the word. Okay, you see me. And she was like, oh, because I told her I get up every morning at 5 a.m. to read the Bible. So she was still sharing her screen with me. And I saw her going in, setting her alarm to 5 a.m. I mean, she hasn't gotten up yet at 5 a.m. with me, but the fact that she's trying. And yesterday on Sunday, she was like, Dama, oh, it's Sunday. We can read the Bible together today. You know, so it's very interesting. Before dinner, after dinner, in the morning, we pray together. I make sure I pray with them. It's something that we do. And so now Ella, who can barely talk, she's like, I'm allowing her to pray. I'm like, who's gonna pray today? Ella, you praying? She's like, yes. So this is her. God, thank you, mommy, Dama, Jojo Siwa. Jojo Siwa is like a Miley Cyrus, you know, like a little, you know, but the fact that, you know, like the fact that she's actually praying and they praying, and Viviana, the oldest, she has such a strong spirit. It's interesting because she's praying now and she has really strong prayers at 8 years old. So I was sitting in here and one of my clients, they were here at the shop. And one of my clients, he was going through like anxiety issues and he's having a hard time breathing. And for some reason in my spirit, I always pray with my clients, but I didn't feel like it was for me to pray for him. I'm like, so when he was leaving, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have Viviana pray for him. And so I learned that kids are really innocent and God always hears a child's prayers. So when I was looking for this shop and when I was looking for a new house, I always went with Viviana and prayed. Because God said in Matthew 18:19 that if 2 people come together in agreements, it shall be done. So going with the kid, that's my little secret. Going with the child, they're innocent. As long as it's good, with good intentions, we want this. Let's pray together. I always go and have her touch and agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted him to be healed, and I just couldn't do it for him that day for some reason, because it was meant for me to go and pray with. So I took him. I talked to Vivi. I said, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I said, you know how I got this shot? I said, because I had my 8-year-old touch and agree and pray with me to get this place, and we got it. I didn't qualify for this, but God seen it fit, and we got the place. So I said, I want her to. I said, Viviana, he's having trouble sleeping. He has anxiety. He needs you to pray for him. Could you pray for him? So we over in the next room, and she prayed for him. Girl, do you know he been looking healthy, feeling good. He haven't been having anxiety. I didn't say, it's because my 8-year-old prayed for you.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that she has something special in her. And it's during the pandemic, we prayed every day at 8 o'clock. I made sure if I wasn't there, I called her. Yeah. So it's just creating those habits, and she's getting stronger. And I feel like she's stronger than me. She's better than me at it. So some people just have gifts, and who knows why I was brought into her life to help her bring out this gift that she has, because she have a gift. Some people are born with gifts, and I believe that that's a gift that she has. And so that has blown my mind, how strong she could pray and how she's able to pray for others, and she's not afraid. So that helped me.
That is a beautiful thing, and I love that it happened organically. Because a lot of time the perception is kids that believe in God is because they're made to, they're forced to. They are just brainwashed. But I think that she was able to she was able to seek out that relationship with God because she saw it working in you. And that is a beautiful thing. And I think that's what, that's the best thing about being a Christian. It's like people think you're supposed to go out and just drag people to Christianity. No, you're supposed to be fruitful by just being yourself, by seeking God yourself and allowing his glory to just be something that is obvious. And just be real about where you got it from, and you'll bring people to him that way. That's another reason why this show is so, I think, right on, because it's just saying, hey, I'm not saying, hey, you're wrong if you don't believe in God, or I'm right because I do. I'm just saying that this is what it's like to believe. And it's been blessing me. It's been pushing me towards something that's greater. And if you're feeling the need to have something like that, hey, this may be the walk for you, you know? And so I think that's how you be fruitful, and that's how you get out and kind of be true to what it is God wants us to do in this life. What you think about that?
You know what? I learned from my mom. My mom is not like big church going, like, like really churchy. She took us to church. I know she believed in God. She has a relationship with God, but it was just seeing how she was blessed through doing the right things. So, I'm just like, well, I want to, I want to have this and I want to have that. And she's doing the right things. She don't lie, she don't cheat, and she don't steal. So those are things that I've applied to my own life. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. And God has been blessing me. These are all things that I've done in the past, and it resulted to all the wrong things. So, there's a difference between being spiritual and being religious. And so as long as it's positive, more power to you. But I believe in God. God has been blessing me, and that's the moral of the story. That's who has restored me. That's my protector. That's my provider, and that's the way to go for me.
Well, that is it. I love it. Well, I am so proud of you, and I can't even tell you. I mean, you just are this shining star. You always have been, but the fact that you got God fueling that star now is just making you even more limitless and more unstoppable. I know you're going into the realm of motivational speaking this week. How you feeling about that? You ready?
God did not give me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So even though I have not done it before, and even though I may have a little nerve, I will be fine. God is going to walk with me. He's going to talk with me. I'm excited. I've always wanted that. Don't be afraid to walk through that door. When God opened the door, you better walk through that door, regardless of how your flesh may feel. So, girl, my flesh feels some ways, but my spirit is ready. So, so I'm excited.
And when you have those things, and when God opened the door, how you know when it's God opening it and not versus not God? How you know that? Because a lot of people have, that's hard to distinguish.
Well, for me, is if I don't get anxiety about it,
Okay.
And if it's positive, like some, and some things can be positive, like you may be blessed with or think that it's a blessing when someone offers you a new house or something like that. You're like, well, I need somewhere to stay. This is a blessing. To distinguish if it's a blessing or not, you pray about it. You pray about it, and it's going to be a certain feeling that God going to give you if you got to go scrambling. If it's, my mom told me this, my mom teach me a lot. Okay. If it's not, if it's hard, nothing comes easy, but how this happened, I feel like it was meant. It happened. It wasn't like, I think that you'll know, especially if you have a relationship with God.
Yes.
You will know. So I believe that this is going to be a blessed week. It's going to be a powerful week. And I know because the divine order. So I'm here on a Christian Walk podcast on Monday. And then there's other opportunities happening on Thursday. So this is a week to be fearless. This is a week. And so I just continue to, you just continue to share that power with others. If I can do it, you can do it. And remember this, God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So feel strong and powerful. Give love, receive it, be able to receive love, and stand on what God told you. Keep your vision, sound mind, power, love, and sound mind, and you'll be fine. Forget the fear. Run away from that.
Yes.
Forget everything and run from that. But we are going to stand. We're going to stand strong on what God promised us. And regardless of how nervous we are, do not confuse it with fear. You are not fearful. You are fearless. You got this because I got this. We got this. And if you believe in God, you ask God, God, help me have this. Help me get through this. Walk with me, talk with me. You'll be fine. Find something to relieve that anxiety, relieve that extra nerve, that pressure, whatever works for you. Do a little dance. Listen to.
Was that a shimmy? That was a shimmy.
Do a little dance. Listen to your favorite songs. Get fired up. Get excited. Because it's excitement. It's not nerves. Don't fall into a depressed state. Fear can't have you no more. This is it. We declaring and decreeing that fear leaves today. Whoever is watching this, I declare and decree that fear is gone from you. There's no more fear. We are excited about our future. We are running towards it, not away from it.
That's right.
That's my sermon for today.
Amen.
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 Thank you so much for having me today.
No, Dani B, she the best. And not everybody, all of this Christian Walk listeners know why. Because she is fueled by the Most High God, and it is evident, it is plain to see, and it is only the beginning for you, dear heart. I love you.
I love you
so much for being
here. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dani B, for being my special guest today and having that great discussion on fear. It truly empowered me, and I hope that it empowers somebody out there. If you found this information helpful in your walk or anything that's going on in your life, please like it, please share it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, as we know, fear can be something that can keep us from everything that God has for us. So we have to be mindful to not let it get the best of us. Remember, God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. And so if you feel greatness bubbling up in you, don't allow fear to keep you away from it, because it's just not worth it in the long run. Go after everything God has for you, okay? And I know loving God can be easy. Trusting God can be hard. But we can all get there one step at a time on this Christian walk. See you next time.